Hey there, I'm Spooky. I have adult ADHD, and I like to talk about it. Today, I'm talking about why making friends can be so hard for ADHD people. I think about this topic quite a lot, and to be honest, most other days I would probably make a tweet thread about it, but today my brain decided to fixate on writing the script, and you know how it is. I'm just a passenger in this car, okay? We know who's really driving. Also, keep in mind that these are all based on my own experiences, but I often find other ADHD people lamenting the same experiences I do. Oh, and I'm also planning to make a lot more videos in the future about living with ADHD, so if that sounds interesting to you, it'd really help me out if you could subscribe. When it comes to making new friends, the initial stages of friendship isn't really the hard part, it's everything that comes after. There are a million ways to meet people, and a lot of those instances it goes pretty well. I'm able to be normal for a pretty short amount of time by using my entire willpower to suppress my ADHD urges like a dam holding back water. The problem is that suppressing those urges takes a lot of mental energy, and at some point the dam's gonna break. Most of the time, I'm out of the situation by the time it can break, so the other party might read me as a regular and capable adult, but oh, that's far from the case. It's maintaining long-term friendships that presents a problem, because once you start becoming friends with people, you usually start spending more time together too. I'll start becoming more comfortable around them, then the height of the dam subconsciously lowers over time, which starts to let those ADHD urges trickle out more and more often until I reach a point of comfort where the dam lets everything go. Things like interrupting when people are talking or asking weird and unrelated questions mid-conversation. Playing games is a good example. If I'm surrounded by new people, I'll probably be quiet and not talk much, spend most of that time thinking to myself in my head about the things that are happening. But after a month has passed and we've been playing games twice every week, you'd probably think to yourself, oh my god, this guy just does not shut the f*** up. And to that, I'd say, I would love to if this guy would stop pointing this gun at me. If you don't interrupt them right now, I'm going to shoot you. Okay, sheesh. One of the biggest issues I have is navigating through conversations. Being friends with me usually means being asked to repeat what you just said at least once a day. You see, this ADHD brain forgets most things in an instant, especially when it comes to listening to other people talk. So if I'm not intently focusing on the words that you're saying, they'll go right through my head and off into the nether. And even then, sometimes they still do. At the same time, I'm also trying to remember what it is you're actually saying so I can remember all the things that I need to respond with, while also remembering my current thoughts. But then, if I keep listening to you, I'll forget what it is that I'm currently thinking too, which could lead me to respond to you in a way that sounds like I wasn't even listening. So, usually, my brain has this desperate urge to just yell out my thoughts before I can forget them, which usually makes me interrupt people. It's one of the hardest things for me to suppress. Yeah, sure, I could carry around a notepad to write things down as people are talking, but that presents its own challenges in having to explain it to people so that I don't look weird or look rude writing mid-conversation, and the fact is, it's still a multifaceted task that my brain will struggle to juggle. Another problem I encounter is that over time, my rejection sensitivity will start poking my brain with bad thoughts about why people in my friend groups don't really talk to me as much as they might talk to other people in the group. And I can't tell if those are legitimate and reasonable things to think, or if rejection sensitivity dysphoria is warping my perspective of the situation. I think it can be especially hard for ADHD people that are married to someone or live with people that are in the same friend group, because in most cases, you just do your own thing and get too distracted to worry about what others think. But when you're in proximity of friends and you can see how much they interact with people, but never you, it becomes difficult to tell if the reason that your friend group only DMs your significant other to play games is because your SO is better at keeping up appearances and they know that you'll come too, or if it's because they just really don't like you. Or if you're overthinking things in the first place because of rejection sensitivity. It's a confusing and overwhelming mess of emotions that usually leads me to unintentionally isolate myself from people. Like, I'm legitimately afraid to DM certain people sometimes that I consider friends because I'm afraid to find out if they don't like me anymore. And I know that that's unreasonable, but I swear, if I could not feel like this, I would. Speaking of keeping up with appearances, maybe it's just my experience, so let me know if you agree with this or not, but I notice a lot of people like to measure friendships transactionally, if that makes sense. Like, they consider how many times you've started a conversation with them and how many times they've started a conversation with you, and if the math doesn't equal out, then they interpret it as a one-sided relationship. I can't tell you how many friends I've lost to this. Like I said before, ADHD brains are very forgetful, and this extends to forgetting people as well. I could not talk to someone for a full year and then resume our friendship like the gap never happened, feeling the same way about you that I did the last time we talked, because I forgot about you and never spent any time thinking about our lack of contact and what it possibly meant. Not forgetting you in an intentional way, but the same type of forgetfulness that might lead you to not do the dishes before your significant other came home from work. You got distracted and just didn't think about it. Same deal here. ADHD people get distracted and straight up forget to talk to people. For me, it's like we press the pause button in time, and the next time we talk, our friendship resumes at that same point. The gap meant nothing, and to be honest, I wasn't even aware of it. But for someone else, it might be interpreted as me not caring about them very much. They might spend time thinking about where I went and why I'm not around, or why I stopped talking to them. I've had people disconnect from me because of it, and it sucks because, like I said, to me, the gap doesn't exist, so every time it's a total blindside for me. This kind of mostly applies to newer friendships, but to me, it seems like a lot of people like to take how often that you talk as a measure of how healthy your friendship is. But that rule just doesn't really apply in the eyes of an ADHD person because we have little conceptualization of extended amounts of time in the first place, which is a topic for a whole different video. Honestly, a lot of these reasons are why I love making friends with other neurodivergent people. They get it. We're too busy trying to survive living in a world not made for us to dwell on the little things. Don't get me wrong, I have a few great neurotypical friends in my life, but these are people who spend time to learn about my disorder so that they can understand a bit of why I'm doing something, knowing that it's not intentional and doesn't have a deeper meaning. Most people, unless personally affected, won't put in the time to research that kind of thing. So here's what I think. I think if you have a single ADHD diagnosed person in your life that you care about, you are personally affected, and it's worth your time to spend an afternoon or two learning about ADHD. I've included some resources in the description, because I love you. ADHD is hard to live with. It affects every aspect of our lives, and it really means the world to us when someone who cares about us takes the time to learn about the disorder and how they can engage with us more effectively. I hope I was able to communicate some of our struggles today, even if they are heavily based on my own. I apologize if this was a little disconnected too. I'm still new to making YouTube videos, and ADHD makes it far too easy to go off on tangents or switch topics wildly. If you have ADHD, I'd love to hear about your experiences below in the comments. I plan on making more ADHD related content in the future, so if that interests you, consider subscribing, and please hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. I do not endorse self-diagnosing, so if you are undiagnosed and think that you could have ADHD, you should seek help from a licensed mental health professional. This video is intended to spread awareness of the struggles people face living with ADHD. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Hey! Yep, it's still me. These are some pretty neat suggestions on the screen here. Maybe you ought to click one. That'd be pretty cool. Come on, you know you wanna. It'd really help me out. Anyways, I hope life's been treating you well, and I'll leave you alone now, okay? Bye!